In 1997, James Cameron brought to the world the movie Titanic and subsequently Cal Hockley. This is a fictionalized character and a fictionalized retelling of the real tragedy of Titanic. If you don't want to listen to a deep dive on a fictional character, then scroll on, the neurodivergents are talking. What do we know about Cal Hockley? We know that he was wealthy, being able to purchase 2 staterooms aboard the Titanic. We know that he was engaged to Rose and that he didn't treat her very well. And just that I've said it, she didn't treat him well either. Like, they were toxic to each other. They weren't a good match. We know that he survives the Titanic by grabbing a little girl and claiming that he's the only one she has left in the world. And we know that in the stock market crash of 1929, he decided to unsubscribe from life, or so Rose read. And while this is all fascinating, what I really want to talk about is this girl. What would you say, 2, 3 years old? While we know extremely little about what happens to these characters after the sinking of the Titanic, I would suggest that these two are stuck together. Go with me here. Cal is wealthy, he's well known, he's very likely a businessman because he's not old wealth, he's not English, he's American. I wouldn't necessarily categorize him as new money like I would Molly Brown. Also, why did they call her Molly? Her name was Margaret. Her name was Margaret and she went by Maggie. She's famous. Why did they call her Molly? He's not quite new money, but I would make an argument that he's not exactly old money either. Why is this man marrying Rose? They are engaged. The invitations have been sent out. That man knows that they're poor. Now, it's possible that he has feelings for her. It is possible that at one point in time he actually had feelings for Rose. It's also extremely possible that he wanted the prestige that came with her name. We know because Rose's mother, Ruth, tells her that the only card they have to play is their good name. So I bet he's willing to marry her because he wants the prestige that comes with being part of that family. Perhaps the son of somebody who had to make their own fortune, which means that he cares very much about his reputation. You know it would be really bad for somebody's reputation? A gentleman lying his way onto a lifeboat when there were still women and children who could be picked up. So he grabs the child, he gets onto the lifeboat, they get to the Carpathia, and he unloads her, and he's like, bye, it's over, no more me and you. No. Everybody on that lifeboat saw them together. Everybody heard, oh, I'm the only one she has in the world. They're going to be like, oh, that little girl that nobody's talking to, that's his. At some point, they're going to realize that this is a falsehood. Obviously, this is not her father because that's Cal Hockley and he is single and doesn't have any children that we know of. Also, this is a third-class passenger child. This is not, you are not the same. We're going to have to do some weaving, a little web spinning, if you will. Saw her early on. She didn't have her parents with her. We couldn't find them. I grabbed her. I was with her all night and I don't know. I'm so concerned with getting her onto the lifeboat that it didn't even occur to me that I was saying something wrong. Now, there may be a little side eye. I'm like, but that's not what you said. But also, like, I do get it. It was a really traumatic event. I totally get it. Now that that's all out of the way, he's just gonna let her go, right? No. A little girl orphaned by the Titanic, adopted by the rich and handsome Cal Hockley. Front page news. Okay, the Titanic was immediately viral, okay? Everybody was obsessed with the Titanic the moment it happened. 30 days after it sank, there was a movie made about it with one of the survivors as an actress. Cal Hockley heroically saves a third-class passenger girl from sinking on the Titanic. So he's single now, ladies. He lost his fiancée in that sinking. That man is getting so much Edwardian booty. You really think he's going to let that little girl go to an orphanage now? No. Even if he wasn't getting all of this attention from the ladies, which he definitely was because he was absolutely never getting rid of this little girl. We're going to consistently come back to him and want to revisit this story, and they're going to want to see the little girl that he saved. Can't just sneak her off in the middle of the night and send her to an orphanage because she's probably famous too. They're going to recognize her and be like, aren't you that little girl that Cal Hockley saved? Like, yeah, I am. I really love the idea of him raising this little girl and her absolutely knowing where she stood with him. Okay, during those times, you only saw your kids during tea time for like an hour, right? He's not going to do that unless he happens to have company during that time because they're going to be like, where's that sweet little angel of yours, Cal? He's going to be like, go get the precious darling for me. He's going to have these people eating out of the palm of her hand. Papa's the best. He bought me this new dress. Isn't it pretty? He's also going to buy me a new pony, right, Papa? She's going to have to be well educated because he's put himself in a hole here. I love the idea that she becomes extremely business savvy just like her Papa Cal. I have this whole idea in my head of just their dynamic with each other. That's the one you're going to marry? Isn't she a gold digger? She's wearing one pair of shoes that she has worn the whole time I've known her. I have met that woman 8 times, always the same pair of shoes. Didn't notice. Well, that's because you're a man, Papa. But you know what? Marry her if you want. You do what you want. You're rich, you're handsome, you're allowed to marry whoever you want. But I thought, move on. Move to the next one, Papa. Let's find you a wife. No, not that one. She looks like she's gonna try to get to you through me, and I don't want to be part of this. Like, no thank you, no thank you. Papa, we need to refurbish the couches. Yes, we do. They look grungy. They look a little dingy. I know you don't know. I know you don't know, but I'm telling you, they need to be redone. Thank you. I want to read it. I want to read it so bad. I want this little girl's story. I want to see how she overcomes losing her Papa in the 29 crash. Also, have I read Jack and Cal fan fictions? You bet I have.